The Titanic was the most luxurious ship of its time. Standing 60 feet above the water and weighing 46,328 tons, the Titanic was supposed to be an unsinkable ship. The RMS Titanic set sail from Southampton, England to New York City April 10, 1912. The Titanic struck an iceberg near Newfoundland on April 14, 1912. It took about 4 hours to sink, and at 2:45 a.m. the next day, the ship was completely submerged. Acts were passed after the sinking, such as the Radio Act. The International Ice Patrol is a group created solely for detecting and reporting icebergs.
An account by Elizabeth Schutz. Suddenly, a queer quivering ran under me, apparently the whole length of the ship. No laughing throng, but on either side of the staircases stand quietly, bravely the stewards, all equipped with the white, ghostly life preservers. The quiet look of hope in the brave men's eyes as the wives were put into the lifeboats. Our lifeboat, with 36 in it, began lowering to the sea. This was done amid the greatest confusion, rough seamen all giving different orders, no officer aboard. As only one side of the ropes worked, the lifeboat at one time was in such a position that it seemed we must capsize in midair. At last the ropes worked together, and we drew nearer and nearer the black, oily water. We rowed away from what had been a safe home for 5 days. The bow of the boat was getting black, light after light was disappearing. We were told to hunt under seats, any place, anywhere, for a lantern, a light of any kind. Every place was empty. There was no water, no stimulant of any kind, not a biscuit, nothing to keep us alive as we drifted along. Then I looked and saw a ship bright with lights, strong and steady she waited, and we were to be saved.
The Radio Act of 1912 is the law in the USA that requires all ships to stay in contact with the radio, nearby ships, and coastal radio stations constantly. The major reason for this act was the RMS Titanic sinking.
From and after October 1st, 1912, it shall be unlawful for any steamer to leave or attempt to leave any port of the United States, unless such steamer shall be equipped with an efficient apparatus for radio communication in good working order, capable of transmitting or receiving over a distance of at least 100 miles, day or night. An auxiliary power supply, independent of the vessel's main power plant, must be provided, which will enable the sending for at least 4 hours, to send the messages over a distance of at least 100 miles, day or night. An efficient communication between the operator, the radio room, and the bridge shall be maintained at all times. The radio equipment must be in charge of 2 or more persons skilled in the use of such apparatus, one or the other of whom shall be on duty at all times while the vessel is being navigated.
This telegraph was sent from the Carpathia, the ship that rescued 704 people from the Titanic. It was sent by J.B. Ismay, who was the managing director of the White Star Line, the company that owned the Titanic. J.B. Ismay was a passenger on the ship and sent the message to inform the company's New York office that the Titanic had sunk.
Between 1882 and 1890, 14 ships sunk and 40 were damaged due to ice, not including the whaling and fishing ships. However, it took a big disaster like the sinking of the Titanic to get public demand for international cooperation to deal with the problem of icebergs. After the Titanic disaster, the U.S. Navy assigned the scout cruisers Chester and Birmingham to patrol the Grand Banks for the remainder of 1912. In 1913, the Navy could not use their ships for this, so the Revenue Cutter Service, forerunner of the Coast Guard, assumed responsibility. 18 countries participated in the International Ice Patrol. They signed an act on May 31, 1929. It was ratified by the U.S. on August 7, 1936. The International Ice Patrol is a program to help ships sail through waters where there is danger of hitting icebergs. This has helped keep many ships out of harm's way.
At the Convention for Safety of Life at Sea, it was agreed that the firing of red rockets from a ship must be interpreted as a distress signal. This was based on the fact that the red rockets launched from the Titanic prior to its sinking were mistaken by nearby vessels as celebratory fireworks, which delayed rescue attempts.
As a result of the Titanic innovations such as the Radio Act, International Ice Patrol, and the interpretation of red rockets, sailing became safer and many lives were saved.